This woman is a nanny, and she is suing the mother of the 9-year-old she cared for because the 9-year-old accidentally broke her iPad. I'm Drew.
Drew who?
And this is the case of the day.
Yes, ma'am. I have been Susan's nanny for just over 2 years for her daughter Riley. She's 9 years old and she struggles with a lot of behavioral issues that are caused by ADHD.
Okay. And what do you mean by that? By behavioral issues, what exactly do you mean?
Misbehaving, fidgeting, getting distracted. The other day, or excuse me, a few days before this incident, she knows that she's not supposed to go in the kitchen without either letting me know or asking me to go with her.
You're taking care of her at that point at your house or at her house?
I always take care of Riley at her house.
At her own house.
So
okay.
we're in her home. Part of what I do is house items. So doing laundry, dishes, picking up around the house as a nanny.
So she's not allowed in the kitchen without you?
Without at least asking for my permission.
All right. So on the day in question, when the tablet breaks, what's going on?
On the particular night of the incident, we actually happened to be at my home, which Susan did request. We had spent a couple hours using the toys that she had brought over. It was getting late. It was about a half an hour before Susan was supposed to come pick her up, and she kept asking for her tablet. Her mom didn't bring hers over, so finally I let her use mine. We were at our house, but I did tell her she needed to stay on the couch and be with me. I had to get up to use the restroom. I went to use the restroom. As I'm walking back, I can hear the tablet hit the floor. I've got hardwood floors. Riley was upset, of course, and I comforted her. I know it was an accident.
Right?
She's a child,
okay.
But it did shatter.
Let me hear from you, Ms. Garrett. How long has she been your nanny, Ms. Well, I presume she's no longer the nanny.
Hello, Your Honor. So
I presume she's no longer the nanny. Is that correct?
Correct. She's not. So she's been my nanny. She was my nanny for the past 2 years, and she clearly knows that she has ADHD. She knows that she clearly knows that she has ADHD. She knows that she's fidgety. She knows that she's everywhere. And then within the last past year, she raised up her price to $120 when she used to charge me $79. But at that, Judge, I was okay with that. I was okay. I was like, okay, you know what? She does need that extra supervision. She does need that extra care. And, you know, she has been good to my daughter. It's not like she hasn't. She has been great with Riley.
When was the last time she saw Riley? The night this happened?
Correct. It was the night that it happened.
And does Riley miss her? Has Riley asked, what's the deal? What's going on?
You know what? Riley did miss her. Riley does like her a lot. But just the fact that it was her responsibility. I didn't give her permission. She went ahead and gave her her tablet, which she clearly said that...
Talk to me, not her, please.
She clearly said that she used it for work. So why would you even let my daughter, Riley, use a tablet that I didn't even give her permission to use?
Your Honor,
I'm sorry. Were you supposed to send a tablet with Riley?
No, she asked me for toys. So when she asked me for toys and stuff that she gets entertained with, I sent her with a couple of stuff to go to her house and, you know, so she can get entertained. She clearly did not think when she gave her the tablet.
I can see both sides of this. The nanny did take a risk by letting her use her own personal tablet, iPad, whatever, that she uses for other work, I guess. And so that is a risk she took, knowing that the little girl is fidgety, as they keep saying. And I don't know, most kids are fidgety. So, you know, letting a child handle your electronics is always a risk. But you know, I can see the nanny's perspective too. You know, it was a special situation. They were at her home instead of the family's home, and they didn't send the tablet for her, the right tablet for her to use, so she'd have that option. I don't know, but then again, it sounds like she said this was in the evening, and you know, our daughter uses a tablet sometimes, but we don't ever use it at night. I know that everyone has different rules about screen time and screen usage and device usage. We are pretty strict about when it can be used, and that's during travel, you know, airplanes, really long car rides. And at home, it's really regulated. You know, we only let her use it for certain periods of time and never close to bedtime because the, you know, its screens are overstimulating, as you know, since you're watching me on a little one right now. But yeah, I kind of think, if I had to guess, the judge is going to go for the defendant. What do you think? Let's see what happens.
You're in charge of supervising the child.
She was under...
So no one's asking you a question, all right? The person in charge of the child was you. And then
Yes,
you tell me how she's a basket case, basically, just over her ADHD, which really, I question whether you all appreciate what that actually means. It doesn't mean they're bouncing off the walls. Like, I mean, that's not how it is. But in any event, if you feel that that's what it means, then I suggest you not leave your $400 laptop from work in her hands. Just put the TV on like the rest of us to entertain her and go to the ladies' room and then come back, you know?
We were at my home and I only have one streaming service. She likes to watch her shows on YouTube.
Well, then she doesn't get to watch it while you're on the toilet. I don't know how to make myself clear. It's just not that complex. But when you make that decision, then accidents can happen. And the person under whose regime they happened was yours, not hers. So I am not going to order her to pay you. Verdict for the defendant.
I don't agree. I don't think that I should have had to carry this
already done.
expense myself. That was done by your child.
It don't matter.
They're clearly on the outs. They didn't say why that was her last night working for them, though. I don't know. It seems odd that if that would be just an instant, I don't know, termination. Maybe the nanny didn't want. After that, she was so mad that she didn't want to work for them anymore. But that doesn't. It seems like she understood at the time that the child had an accident, and she comforted the child, as she said. So I'm curious as to why that was the end of the relationship right then and there. But it's clearly a little acrimonious. And I was right. The judge ruled for the defendant. You gotta, she's right. You had other options. Put on the TV. And you hear what she said, well, I don't have the streaming service she likes. Man, do you hear yourself? Kids now have the ability to have very stark preferences about things like streaming services because those options are available. When I was a child, many, many years ago, we didn't even have cable in my house. We had 3 channels, the big networks, and then, Fox and a couple local stations. That was it. So I don't know, maybe 7 channels total to choose from at a given time. I've tried to explain to my kid that, when I was a kid, you had to watch whatever was on TV at the time. You didn't get to pick. And you couldn't fast forward or pause or come back to it later. And, when we watch TV now, she can pick her show and pick the episode and pause it to go to the bathroom. Literally could not have conceived of such a thing as a child. Things are just different. And I understand old people now because I feel it. Like, in my day, we only had 7 channels. I become that old person. In my day, we walked uphill in the snow, both ways, to watch cartoons on TV. And now kids are mad if they don't get their iPad from their nanny at 9 p.m. and don't have the right streaming service. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching with me.